Okay, guys, we are going to do the penny lab today. First thing I want you to realize is for the penny lab, on the pre-lab questions, I'd like you to do those first. So you can pause the video. But on question number 2, there's a typo. It says, what is the volume of 25 pennies if the volume is blah, blah. It should say, what is the mass of 25 pennies if the volume is whatever. So please do be aware of that. Okay? So this lab deals with the intrinsic property of matter called density. Density is simply a measurement of mass over volume, and because it is an intrinsic property, we can use it to identify elements. We've got 2 sets of pennies. These are my old pennies. These are 1982 or before. These are my new pennies. These are 1984 or after. What the U.S. government found right around 1983 or so, that it was costing more to make a penny than the penny was worth. So they changed the material the penny was made out of. Okay? What we're going to do is attempt to use the mass and the volume of a penny to try and find the density of the penny. So I've got 25 old pennies, again, 1982 and before, and all I'm going to do is, one at a time, one set of 5 at a time, put them onto my balance. All right, and what I will do here is I'm jotting these values down for you guys, and I will just show you them as we go. So first we have 15.3 grams for 5 pennies. These are the old pennies. Then for 10 pennies, it's 30.7 grams. For 15 pennies, I'll pull this a little closer, it's 46.1 grams, 46.1 grams. For 20 pennies, 61.4 grams, and here's 25 pennies. I have 76.7 grams. I will show you a paper at the very end with the masses. Okay, so those are my masses of my old pennies, 5 to 25. I'm going to do the same thing for the new pennies, pretty simple. So 5 pennies, whoop, I have to tear the balance first. 5 pennies has a mass of 12.5 grams. 10 pennies, stacked up, has a mass of 25.1 grams. 15 pennies has a mass of 37.7 grams. 20 pennies has a mass of 50.2 grams. 25 pennies has a mass of 62.8 grams. Those are the masses of my pennies. Okay, mass is easy enough to calculate. We just use a balance and we have it. Okay, density, of course, is the ratio of mass divided by volume. So we have to now find the volume of the pennies. To do the volume, okay, a penny is not a perfectly regular geometric shape. So because of that, we have to use a graduated cylinder and some water to calculate the volume, or to measure, I should say, the volume of the penny. We are using what's called the displacement method. What I've done is put 50 milliliters of water in here. And I'm going to add 5 pennies at a time until we get our volume. So the first 5 pennies, and I'm going to the old pennies again. I'm going to slide these down. I started with 50 milliliters of water in there. And this goes up to 52 milliliters. So if you take 52 minus 2, that gives me a volume for 5 pennies of 2.0 milliliters. I'm going to put 5 more pennies in, so there's 10 in here. Same thing, I let this come to rest. And I have 54 milliliters, so that's a total of 4 milliliters for the volume of 10 pennies. You'll notice I'm sliding them down the side. If you drop them in, water splashes out, it screws up your results. So here we have 15 pennies, and this is at 55 milliliters. So the volume is 5.0 milliliters for 15 pennies. Here's 20 pennies. These are my old ones again. The 20 pennies have a volume of 57 milliliters, so that's 7.0 milliliters. And the last 5, so this gets me up to 25 pennies. That puts me at 59 milliliters, so 9 milliliters. I wrote that one down a little bit. I don't fix that. So there is the volume of the old pennies. So I have to do the new pennies, but before I can, I have to get 50 milliliters of water in there. The pennies are really wet after you do the volume. That's why I want to do the mass first. So I want to put 50 milliliters of water in here. Here's my 50 milliliters of water. Now we're going to do the volume of the new pennies. So 5 pennies. Remember, I'm starting at 50. That goes up to 52 milliliters. So 5 pennies of the new ones have a volume of 2 milliliters. 10 pennies. That goes up to 54, so that's 4 milliliters for 10 of the new pennies. 15 of my new pennies. That's up to 55, so that's 5 milliliters for 15 of the new pennies. There's 5 more, so this is going to be 20 of the new pennies. 20 of the new pennies has a volume of 56 milliliters, so 56 minus 50 is going to be 6 milliliters. And the last one, this gives me a total of 25 of the new pennies. 25 of the new pennies has a volume of 58 milliliters, so that's a total of 8 milliliters. So, of the mass and the volume of our new and old pennies. There we go. Take a look at those. What you need to do now is go ahead and calculate the density of each of the 2 different sets of pennies, and then take the average of that. I would also like you to calculate, or I shouldn't say calculate, to do those pre-lab questions, and remember the correction on number 2.